What is going on, people? It's Matt from Liquid Loans. In this video, we have a special announcement, a superstar addition to the Liquid Loans team, who I'm excited to be talking to today, along with our CEO CC and our COO Scottish Dave. So with no further ado, let's go. Great to see you, CC and Dave. Thanks for joining me on this special announcement video.
Yeah, good to be here, Matt. Really excited about what we're about to announce. So fantastic news for us.
Yeah, thanks for the invitation, Matt. This is major news because I'm never on the channel, so you know that it's big news when I get the invitation and the opportunity to get involved in the conversation. This individual we're about to bring out, I got so much love and respect for. Christian, I've known for a long time, and very classy, professional individual, which you're about to find out who that is. So should we get right into it? Christian, any comments in terms of this individual's background? You and I have had lots of conversations with him over many months. What sort of attracted you to this individual in particular?
Yeah, I think you and I both agree on the majority of this, but I think what's really important for us is that individuals that come to our team is that they focus primarily on educating and inspiring, and this fellow has done this in spades over a longer period of time. I think it's also important for the role that we're looking to have this fellow join us and deliver against is that we needed someone with deep intellect and an broader understanding of crypto and generally the macro factors that impact on crypto. And ultimately, I think for us to inspire and educate future generations, this individual has to have a love of what we're doing and provide that, particularly to the Pulse community, in order for us to be sustainable into the future. So really happy that this fellow has agreed to join us. So very excited.
Yeah, completely agree. And when we bring him out, everybody's going to know him straight away. He's very well known in the HEX and PulseChain community. And obviously that's a major plus sign for us in terms of helping with growth of PulseChain, with Liquid Loans, and with the goals and ambitions that we've got.
Right, I think that's enough. Everyone's on the edge of their seat. So with no further ado...
Hey,
what's going on, Walrus?
Oh, man.
Welcome.
That intro.
Thanks, man.
Listen, Walrus, you're
So
no
good to
stranger
see
to
you,
the
man.
Liquid Loans channel, the team. You know, it's great to have you back on, but under new exciting circumstances. What was your motivation to join the team, if you don't mind me asking?
Same reason I've been involved as long as I have. From the very beginning, the project itself is all the things that we value, that I value, that, again, the community as a whole value. It's about pushing DeFi. It's about pushing self-custody. It's about taking ownership, responsibility, and the betterment of the ecosystem as a whole. That's why I was happy to represent as an ambassador for a long time. That's why so many people know that I've been involved with the project. As again, I've had many amazing conversations with Dave and CC, yourself. I'm honored, blessed, and humbled to take on the new role.
Fantastic. Mate, I've got to ask, what the hell is in the background? You've got it looks like a bike and it looks like a paddleboard. I don't think it is.
I just didn't want to set unrealistic expectations. So I'm professional dressed up, but I'm still from Austin most of the time. So I've got the Buell behind me, the 1200 cc bike there. And then I've got the kayaks and a little nature, a little pretty nature. That's the whole thing.
I'm only disappointed you don't have
People
you don't
wouldn't
have
know
a surfboard around there. Yeah. Where's your bloody surfboard?
There we go.
I even shaved my head just in recognition of you coming on board. I've got the headphones all ready to go. Everybody's just trying to be like Walrus with a double L in your name as well, in case Matt and CC, you guys haven't noticed that. That is genuine Twitter and Telegram handle, I think, name for as long as I can remember. Yeah, double L's.
Yep. The username always had 2 L's, and I thought it was just the simplest way to write Walrus. Now I realize the writing was on the wall in the first place. Everyone knew this was full circle.
Absolutely, man.
So, mate, we've
discussed.
memo.
We need the headphones.
Yeah.
We got a spare pair, Matt, if it helps.
I'll give you guys the headphones. You just got to shave your head.
Yeah, that's the next video. The next video is going to be all the same look.
To quote the great Papa B, he said that God only created a few perfect heads, and the rest he covered with hair.
So Dave, I know that we've deliberated over the roles, but perhaps we can expand on what our expectations are and particularly for Walrus and for the community in terms of what we're trying to achieve?
Yeah, I'm going to handball it off to Walrus, and kind of, I think ultimately this is very much about, for me, this is very much about growth of PulseChain, growth of liquid loans, partnerships, community engagement. I mean, you can encapsulate it in so many different areas, but Walrus, we had a lot of conversations around what value you would bring to the table. Now, we knew what that value would be going into it, but we wanted to get a much deeper understanding of you. And they were very insightful conversations. Can you share with Matt in particular and the viewers some of the things that you're intending to add value to, and what you're hoping to achieve as we move forward?
Absolutely. The conversations have been incredible, and they've helped shape some of the directions that that I'm hoping that we can all take. For the most part, it's what we've been doing now, just greater scale, greater resources behind us, and keeping this thing up in a exponential growth. I mean, we want everything to grow. Like, that's what this thing is about. So for myself, I've always gone to where I thought I was kind of needed most. So when the Telegram was popping, I tried to stay there all the time. Most people know. When the sacrifices came through, I pretty much stayed in the voice chats. It takes a little bit of just kind of just a certain bit of control and still being lenient and not snapping at people, because there's so much going on and money moving there. So, that's where I was when I was needed there. The same thing came with PulseX. When the community started to really grow outside of Telegram, How to Pulse, we built great things, amazing things, and have focused on educating the community. As Twitter Spaces become more and more prevalent, I spent more time there. I've reached out to every project for the most part. I've spoken to those guys. What do you guys need? Do you need resources? Can I connect you with someone? We've spoken on multiple times on things like that, trying to, put 2 and 2 together to make 4. We're just going to do more of that. I'll always be where the community needs me to be. This is where I need to be right now. This is the opportunity for the greatest growth, to do the most for the ecosystem, to bring the most eyes into what we're doing, and to really grow what this thing is supposed to be. PulseChain, the consensus can change, but the values haven't. Like, we like limited governance, we like custodianship, we like education. We focus on those things and we hammer them home every day. We want more of it. Like, there's just not enough yet. There's not enough eyes. There's not enough education. We just want more.
I think what has impressed me about how you've held yourself through all of this, Walrus, is largely, whilst you continue to educate and inspire, you look at collaborations, right? So you're always looking to develop and collaborate. And I actually think if we take a step back as a community, we tend to find ourselves at each other's throats at times, which is kind of disappointing. But one thing that stuck for me is your ability to create partnerships, to actually collaborate, to do what we need to do collectively. Because I actually think if we do things collectively, we win, right? Every time we're fractured and divided, it just distracts us from what we're really trying to achieve. So to me, that's really important. Your ability to collaborate and form partnerships is really important. I think for PulseChain in general, we need to be doing more of that.
I think a lot of it just comes from humility. There's so many great people in the space that have so many great things to offer, whether sometimes it's not even just the code they're building. Sometimes it's just the input. Sometimes it's to make sure that you're sure you don't like something. I know that can sound funny. A lot of times just some surety and hearing great people speak on either your position or the other, you can be more sure of where you stand. So we're always more alike than we are different. And there's so much value that so many people have created in the ecosystem. I have prided myself on making sure that more people hear more of the positive message that so many of the contributors that we have, yourselves included, Matt, Corey, I mean, everyone, it's something I take pride in. I care very deeply about the community and a lot of those people individually, and I wanted to make sure the best parts of them shine. I
think that's something that really resonates with me is your ability to connect. Yes, absolutely. You love the collaboration, but a phraseology I like to use is that you're in service of others at all times. You're constantly there to service and support and guide and mentor and coach and offer this incredible depth, this breadth of knowledge that you have, crypto, blockchain, broader financial, TradFi. I mean, you're very, very, very knowledgeable, and you have an opinion, and it's a confident opinion, well-read and researched opinion on a lot of topics. Every time I'm seeing you on a stream, listening to you on a Twitter Spaces, wherever you are, you've always got a huge amount of value to add. And I think that's so humbling to have you on the team for all of those qualities that you bring. It's exceptional.
I'm just grateful. It's special.
Walrus, you're definitely everywhere, like Dave said, on Twitter Spaces, on streams, helping people out in chats. I'm sure with you leading the, the charging growth, you'll be helping bridging the gap between crypto and legacy finance. Can you tell us how this might look and how you'll make inroads to like different sectors and help spread the word?
Sure, a lot of it, and it's part of my attraction to liquid loans in the first place, is it can be very hard to differentiate between certain things on the outside. I don't want to speak ill will of any projects, but a lot of times they're a little cartoonish. They're a certain degree that people enjoy, and that's all fine. More power to them. A lot of us are really trying to build legacy systems that are just more in control of us, right? So a lot of times it's just about understanding that these things aren't all, bright colored NFT cartoons, that there's people building real things. Like liquid loans is a true DeFi financial tool. While it's beautiful and there's amazing code and we can sort of talk about its elegance, in some ways it's just a hammer. It just works. Like no one looks at a hammer and is confused. They know what it does, right? And there's sort of simplicity and elegance when it comes to LL. And that's what I think a lot of the people on the outside need to hear. If you get in there and you just start talking crypto terminology, it just doesn't make any sense. But if you say collateral, essentially using USDL like a dollar, okay, so this thing's a dollar. Okay, that makes sense. Collateralization, that makes sense. Using these things, that makes sense, right? So there's a lot about what we do here that makes very, very clean sense to people who may not have that initial crypto understanding. So we'll be reaching out in a lot of different ways. This community, this project here that just brought on Teller, right? Like that's a very powerful resource. Yeah. There's more and more and more to come. There'll be ways we interact with that. We don't want to let too much out of the bag just yet, but a lot of it comes from education. So we'll be speaking to people who you don't even necessarily think of as already in the ecosystem or even crypto friendly in some ways, because we want them to be friendly. We want more eyes. We want more people. You got to win people's hearts and minds.
Walrus, that is something I want to acknowledge. And the existing team that we've got, HEXiCAT, who's extremely well known within the community, obviously Matt, and the triage and how you guys are going to work together. Have you got any comments or thoughts you want to share about how you see this dynamic moving forward with the YouTube channel, with the podcast, with you being the glue that's holding that together?
It is infinitely easier to look good with guys like that around you. That would be the first part. Just I don't have to add much. Those guys are incredible. I've done a lot with them already. People see me in the spaces with HEXiCAT on the podcast. They've seen me and Matt have great conversations on the YouTube. Hopefully, in some ways, the same way I am to the community. It's about being in service to those guys. They have great personalities. They do a great job. I'll try to remove things that are on their plate that maybe that are easier, that are in my wheelhouse, and make sure that they're more accessible to the community, putting out more content, that they're having to do less of the boring stuff that I like to do in the background. So to all those guys, it's about being service pretty much all the way around for myself. So hopefully I'll be able to, bring out the best version of those guys for everyone else, and they'll do the same for me as they always have. They've done a good job of making me look good so far.
Yeah, and these guys are very much the complement the front end of a tremendous team that we have back end, and the guys that do an incredible job that are not in the limelight at all. And then of course you've got the Telegram channel, Telegram admins that are doing an outstanding job. So as we close out this video, what message do you want to leave with the community in terms of getting access to you, what you're hoping to achieve in the next month to 3 months? What sort of topics are we going to be covering, these sorts of things, directions that we're going to be taking?
I'm always available. Wherever it is, you can find a way to send me a message. I will do my absolute best to answer. The community has always been super respectful of me and my time. They don't have any problem just messaging me, hey, Walrus, hadn't heard in a couple of days. Can you check that message? So I have to be just so grateful. It is, I say rare because it's happened, but it's non-existent getting anyone that's, trying to be fresh or irritated with my timetables getting back to them. And it's one of my favorite things, the amount of people I get to interact with one-on-one. I mean, there are people that I touch base with at least once a week, and I've done so for over, a year and a half. People I've connected with and keep up with. People will jump back in and message me and say, hey, I haven't kept up that much the last 6 months. I know you've been there since Sunrise, buddy. Like, can you keep me up to date real quick? So that will never change. I'll always be here to answer anything the community has. I'll try to do more of the spaces. I need to start doing more things that scale, and that'll be part of what I do here as well. But I would miss it too much, and I could just never give up doing all the one-on-one interactions that I have with so many people. So I'll always be accessible. Come knock down the door. Maybe now you have to remind me 3 times instead of twice to make sure I get the messages, but I'm always here. Going forward, there's a different level of professionalism and acumen that this team here brings that I hope to be able to leverage in more conversations and partnerships outside of the community. So there's always more to get done. And in some of these things, I always like to say that we don't know what we don't know, right? So in some of these interactions going forward, there are partnerships and people we can bring in that we haven't even thought of yet. So I want to have a noticeable impact on how many new faces, new players, new entities as a whole come into PulseChain, are excited and are ready to build.
Love it.
Awesome.
Fantastic.
Awesome.
Well, listen, on behalf of everyone at Liquid Loans, welcome to the team, Walrus. We're super excited to see you work your magic. And thank you, gents, for all of your time today.
Great to
Thanks,
see you,
Walrus.
Matt. Thanks, Walrus.
See you,
So
Matt.
much, gentlemen.
So I hope you enjoyed that video. Drop us a comment below and let us know what you think of the latest addition to the Liquid Loans team. If you like content like this, do hit that subscribe button and that bell icon so you're notified every time we drop new videos on the channel. You can also tap the like button and share the video with someone who you think it may benefit. Thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next one.